Just the other day, a young man came to my office and he had a really great question. I've heard this question so many times. Fortunately, I have a happy answer. There's this wonderful program called Deferred Action for Childhood Arrivals. We also call it DACA. It's been around for a couple of years now, and it benefits individuals who came into the US when they were young, under 16, and there are several other requirements which I'll tell you about in a moment. One of the requirements is that someone has to produce a high school diploma, and they have a few other options. So many times, individuals who come into my office, they meet so many of the other requirements, but they didn't finish high school, or they came in when they were 16 or right before 16 and they went straight to work, so they don't have any high school records at all. So this gentleman was afraid to apply back when the initial applications were submitted, and he was in my office and said, I have no high school records. Is there any way that I could qualify? I'm happy to say that the answer is yes. Just because someone does not have a high school diploma does not mean they cannot apply for DACA. In terms of the educational requirement, people can either be in school and prove that they're in school, and that could also be a GED program. They can also produce a high school diploma, or they can produce a GED certificate. Any of those documents are acceptable. In terms of some of the other requirements, people have to prove that they came into the US before they were 16. They have to be able to document it. They have to prove that they came into the US before June of 2007. They also have to be able to document that. They have to prove that they were physically present in the US on June 15th, 2012, which is when DACA took effect. And they have to prove the educational requirement. They must have a pretty clean police record. Maybe a minor misdemeanor is okay, but anything that's more serious will totally eliminate their being qualified. If you have had any type of a deportation problem, however, it doesn't matter. DACA clears up the deportation. Deferred action means that you will not be deported, that your deportation is being deferred. So this is a wonderful program where people, if they're approved, it takes about a year to apply and get approved, they will acquire a work permit, and the work permit is valid for 2 to 4 years. Right now, there is no talk of DACA applicants acquiring green cards. However, in certain circumstances, it is possible for DACA applicants, approved DACA applicants, to travel outside the country. And if they return with advanced parole and have a lawful entry, some of them are married to US citizens and they can adjust their status in the US. So it really opens all the doors for the people who entered the US before they were 16. One of the other requirements is that someone has to have been under 31 in June 2012. So you have to do a little bit of calculation regarding the age when they entered, age when they applied, and meet certain requirements. There are a lot of, there's a lot of paper shuffling. It's a very paper-intensive application. However, we have made many people very, very happy by successfully processing the DACA applications. We even had one case where an individual didn't have actual proof that he was here before he was 16, but he had a photograph of himself standing on the corner near a gas station sign in a snowstorm. And we were able to do research and find out the price of gas when the price of gas was as low as it was on that sign, and and we were able to do meteorological research and determine that there was a snowstorm, he told us that it was January of a certain year, and we also got affidavits from people that he lived with. So many times, if you are very, very creative but in a legal way with secondary documentation, you can help someone get their case approved where otherwise they may be missing a piece of crucial information. We've had a lot of success, showing graduation pictures with copies of diplomas of the people in the picture that graduated, proving someone's physical presence. You have to be creative, but it all has to be within the law. So we've helped a lot of young people, and it's been very satisfying. If you feel like that you have a similar situation where you came into the U.S. when you were very young, but don't feel that you meet all the criteria that were stated for the deferred action cases, please come and meet us. We would love to help you, and hopefully we'll be hearing from you soon. Thank you.